Now that we've talked about notation for our sample, let's talk about notation for our population. We're not going to go ahead and give ourselves a symbol to talk about the size of our population. Instead, we're going to launch right into talking about the average or the mean. And for our population, remember our sample was X bar. Our population is actually going to be a Greek letter, mu. So, for example, we're going to say average age of all college students is right around 23. That is, mu is 23 here. Now, after talking about average, let's go ahead and talk about proportion. Remember, our proportion is just a decimal representation of our percentage. And to get the proportion for the population, we're going to use a lowercase p. Remember, sample had p hat. It's just like the hat fell off it. Lowercase p for our population proportion. Example would be to say, let's say 21% of all Americans would want a bagel toaster. So once again, this would be p equals 0.21. I write it in the decimal form. Average, mu. Proportion, p. The final one we'll talk about is standard deviation. Once again, if you're not familiar with this, it's okay. We'll be introducing it later on. Standard deviation for the population is represented using a sigma. Because these are coming from the population, because it means I asked everyone or got everyone's opinion, these are parameters. Now, what I'd like to do is go ahead and put all of these side by side so we can go ahead and see them. So we'll scoot this up really quick. And we'll go ahead and say for sample and for our population. And we'll start here by talking about average. And once again, when I say average, I'm talking specifically about the mean. Our sample is going to be X bar. Once again, you might see Y bar instead. And our population average is mu. Proportion will be p hat. That's the percentage of people who said something. P would be the percentage of everyone who believes something. And finally, standard deviation will be lowercase s and then sigma.